Hello, today's the 10th of August, 2022. You got this Allis-Chalmers WD45 tractor last Friday, and I'm just taking an opportunity to document what's going on with it right now, what it needs as far as work, etc. And it is dark out, so I got the shop lights in here right now, and they're not fantastic. I got a torch here too. Anyway, you'll see I have quite a few cans laid out, and that's for all the leaks that I am trying to identify, pinpoint. I have power washed it and degreased it a fair amount. It could always use more, of course. But let's go over leaks starting from front to back. This first down here is AntiFreeze from that lower hose right there. On the other side, you can see it pretty good. Doesn't appear to be leaking at all in the thermostat housing or that upper hose, but the thermostat gauge obviously is busted. Moving on after that to oil. Looking a little wet right there. I didn't power wash that far up though. I think it's always been that greasy. I've got two spots that's been leaking oil down here, and it's coming right off the pan itself. However, I'm fairly certain that the oil pan seal is just shot and needs to be taken off and replaced with some silicone. Seal maker. Let's see. In the transmission here, I'm not exactly sure what the saw has for seals or what's going on in here, but this is continually getting a light layer of fluid on this cover. Next is hydraulic / transmission fluid, and that's in that big bucket there. Again, and dad noises. You can see where it's collecting on that drain plug right here and dripping down, and also on the PTO itself. From what I can tell, it's also pretty oily in here all the way around along the PTO. From what I can guess, this pump itself, I think, is having a leak, and it is leaking down the side there. It's either that or this, and it's looking drier than it was before I power washed it, or this seal right here at the pump housing. I'm not sure what you'd call that. Fits into, if that's leaking all along that seal, and that looks like it actually could be a pretty good possibility. Okay, and then the PTO itself, again, it might be an entire assembly there that it's leaking. I see quite a few of those bolts are covered in fluid on the other side as well. And then the lift arms seem to be on both sides leaking where I don't know if it's where the fittings go into the, I don't know what the correct term is, piston housing, arm housing. If it's that, or if it's where the hose is meeting the fitting. Same with the other side. The other side's a lot worse. Come around. There's also leaking where the piston goes inside the house, the housing. And duplicate thing on the other side. There and here, this one's the worst out of all the rear arms here. And then coming up here, the bulb here is leaking. And I can't, even if you back off just a little bit, then it lets the gas flow through to the carburetor, and the carburetor is flooding. There's a big old puddle here the other day, and the carburetor is completely flooded, so there's some work to do there. I'm gonna try, from what I've been reading, you can see it's leaking quite a bit. And that is after about 30 hours of sitting. It's leaked, oh, I don't know, at least a cup of gas or so. Maybe a pint. So once, there's not a ton of gas in there right now. Once it's empty, I think I'm going to remove that shut-off valve and try packing that nut or that bolt and seeing if that will do her. Reading online, it seems like guys have trouble even after replacing the whole unit itself. What else? As far as leaks, I think that's most of the leaks. As far as I know. Otherwise, general work, wiring could be looked at. You know, things are getting a little just worn and raggedy. It does have a plug in there for winter if need be, and that's really good. Main harness itself isn't too bad. That leads to the ignition switch. It needs to be replaced. Disconnecting this battery terminal on and off has been pulling up on that. That could be routed better. Battery case cover. What else? Yeah, your water temperature gauge up there needs to be replaced. Oil pressure gauge works and looks newer. I can't recall off the top of my head if this amperage gauge is working, not to show for charging or losing the battery. Traction booster gauge seems to be working while driving it. It shifts okay. It is low, and when I got it, it was pretty low on hydraulic transmission fluid. Brakes do not work. I had this left housing off today. I have to do the same with the right and vacuumed out because a mouse at some point had made that their home. Had a pretty good nest made up. The brakes just need new liners as far as I can tell. PTO works. Hydraulic arms work. I've got to, once I address those leaks and get a full fluid, hydraulic fluid again, I got to mess with the settings on the pump and make sure that it's set right to how I want. Right now it's showing, from what I can tell, that it's set to the hold position, but it does not seem to be working like that. What else? I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. It'll be a good investment, good tractor. Just a few catching up things to do on it. Tires are in decent shape. I'm hoping they can last me a year or two, enough to get at least one season of growing in. With a pumpkin patch, that's the business case that this tractor is going into, is for a 4 to 5 acre pumpkin patch, and see if we can make a little money off it. Fix up the tractor. I'm excited. It's a nice opportunity. Life is good. Life is good. So that has been my update on my new project, Allis-Chalmers WD45.